Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, phone of choice for scammers, tradesmen, elderly to lose service, some gates trackers, POS terminals to go dead Monday as a Flow pulls a 2G plug. For the police, Flow's decommissioning of its 2G system tomorrow is a welcome strike against the lottery scammers bent on criminal mayhem. But for some law-abiding Jamaicans, the move could threaten their livelihoods or cause a wide-scale inconvenience if caught unprepared. The telecommunications company said since September 2022, it had been informing customers that it would be shutting down its 2G platform as it continues to upgrade its network. Effective April 15, customers with a 2G-only device and a SIM card will not be able to access any of Flow's mobile services unless they upgraded to a device and/or SIM capable of working on the more advanced 3G, LTE, and 4G systems. While not divulging the number of customers to be affected, Flow said the shutdown will impact residential and commercial clients using second-generation cellular phones, particularly those popularly called bangers and favored by the elderly, tradesmen, and lottery scammers, gate openers, vehicle trackers, wingles, dongles, and point-of-sale machines powered solely by its 2G network. Devices that can give the user the option to switch to 3G, LTE, and 4G systems will not be affected. Flow explained to the news that the decommissioning of the 2G network aligns with its global efforts to offer faster, more reliable, and efficient connectivity by embracing other advanced technologies. Initially, the shutdown was to take place last year, but it was pushed back. Flow customers were previously notified back in September 2022 about the decommissioning of the 2G network scheduled then for 2023, the telecommunications company noted last week in response to questions from the news. We are now actually behind on the decommissioning exercise because we took the time to help our business customers make the transition from 2G. Flow customers will also not be able to roam with a 2G-only device, as the Flow's roaming partners have already decommissioned their 2G networks and upgraded to LTE, 4G, or 5G. Additional charge for Colore and alleged accomplices. Barbados-born businessman Omar Colore and his 3 alleged accomplices implicated in the murder of his wife will now each have to answer to a count of conspiracy to murder after Justice Leighton Pusey granted the Crown permission to amend the indictment. The 4 defendants, including the alleged contract killer Michael Adams, Shaquila Edwards, and Dwayne Pink, were initially charged on an indictment with 2 counts of murder. They were each charged with the brazen daylight contract killing of 32-year-old Simone Campbell Colore and the taxi driver Winston Corey Walters, 36, on January 2, 2018. The 2 were killed when men rode up on motorbikes and sprayed them with bullets as they waited to be let inside Campbell Colore's Forest Ridge apartment complex in Red Hills, St. Andrew. Colore, who migrated to the United States at 5 to live with his mother and his stepfather, is accused of orchestrating his wife's murder along with his co-defendants. On Friday, during the trial, the prosecution made submissions, which Justice Pusey accepted, for the 3rd charge to be added to the indictment. The Crown alleges that all 4 defendants between December 1, 2017 and January 2, 2018 conspired to have Campbell Colore and Walters killed. While not strictly opposing the amendment, the defense indicated that it reserves the right to recall any witness who might be required to undergo further cross-examination concerning the new charge. The trial has so far heard that Colore, a U.S. citizen, hired Adams to facilitate the murder of his wife and that Edwards and Pink allegedly played a role in surveilling the businesswoman's movements before her death. One of the triggermen in Campbell Colore's murder previously testified that he was told that the hit was for $2 million. Wade Blackwood, a confessed member of the unruly gang, who is currently serving 2 life sentences for the murders, had disclosed that he got the price tag from the other shooter, Jim, the now deceased alleged leader of the unruly gang, to which they all reportedly belonged. Blackwood also testified that Adams was the contractor killer and was the one who spoke with the man who had ordered the hit on the woman. The trial, however, is currently hearing the evidence about the phone and the cell site data from a forensic data analyst, a deputy superintendent of police attached to the Constabulary Forces Communication, Forensics and the Cybercrime Division, who examined the phone and the cell site data which he received from the island's two main service providers. Phone data evidence showed that there was continuous communication between Colore and the alleged contractor killer in the days leading up to his wife's murder. The data also showed a pattern where Colore would often call his wife, Simone Campbell Colore, before calling or attempting to make contact with the alleged contractor killer, often in the space of a minute. Specifically, phone data records showed that Colore had called his wife for a minute, half an hour before she was murdered, and immediately after made another minute call to the man whom he allegedly contracted to have her killed. The phone data records further revealed that Adams and one of the shooters, Jim, exchanged several calls on the day of the shooting. Cell site data also placed Jim close to Simone's apartment when the calls started. The trial continues on Monday. Kartel's lawyer impressed with A1 response from Court of Appeal. Vybz, Kartel's lawyer Asset Buchanan, has lauded the Court of Appeal for moving swiftly in scheduling a hearing date to determine whether the popular entertainer and his three co-accused should be retried. The Court of Appeal on Friday issued a notice informing that a hearing date has been set for June 10, when the court will hear submissions over 5 days. Justice Marva MacDonald Bishop, in issuing the notice, gave the appellants until May 6 to file their submissions for why a retrial should not be ordered, while the prosecution, which is pushing for another attempt to retry the men, will have until May 31 to file its response. Buchanan, when contacted on Friday, said he was pleased with the quick response of the local appellate court in setting a date. The court's reaction is A1. They acted at the same time as they got the order, that's swift in terms of case management. I would have committed previously that the court acted expeditiously, so it has confirmed that our courts don't waste the time, he said, while adding they are very mindful of constitutional challenge. Asked about his client's reaction to the new development, Buchanan said he had not yet got a chance to speak with his client and raised the concerns about the decision by the Department of Correctional Services not to allow visits by attorneys on the weekend. As a result, he said he would not be able to speak to his client about the issue until Monday. Questioned further about his client's position in terms of arguments for opposing the retrial, Buchanan declined, saying the matter is now officially before the courts. In the meantime, Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn, when contacted, confirmed that her office has received the notice but declined to make any comments on the issue. On March 14, Jamaica's final Court of Appeal, the UK-based Privy Council, quashed the murder convictions of DJ Vybz Kartel Palmer, Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones and Andre St. John. They were convicted in 2014 for Clive Lizard Williams' murder in 2011. Kartel and the others were sentenced to life imprisonment. However, the Privy Council said in its judgment that the men's convictions should be quashed on the grounds of juror misconduct. The court ruled that the trial judge should have dismissed the tainted juror, Livingston Kane, who was later found guilty of accepting a bribe to try to influence other jurors in the case. Kartel and his co-accused have denied any involvement in the killing of Williams. The prosecution's case, however, was that the appellants murdered Williams on August 16, 2011, after he failed to return 2 unlicensed firearms which Palmer had given him for safekeeping. Williams was not seen or heard from after that date, and his body has never been found.